being an irritated traveler, we're talking about our fitness. So we're not that irritated. It's one of our favorite things we do. As we traveled around, people always want to know what we do to stay in shape, especially living on the road in the RV.
The one thing we don't do is sit around and eat chocolates all day. That's one thing, even though we want to.
We do.
We want to eat bratwurst and chips and sit outside the RV all day and just enjoy the weather.
And have the 3 or 4 drinks every night at RV time.
Don't forget about martini time.
Yep.
Yeah, we want to do that every night, but unfortunately, we can't do that if we want to stay fit. So, and I'm sure not many people can. So, we tend to instead do a lot of walking. Yeah. We walk anywhere from 5 to 15 miles a day. Yeah. Anytime we get to a new area, first thing we do, get set up, get out, walk the dog.
Walk the dog.
Usually the dog's perched at the door.
Yeah, he's ready.
Ready to take a walk. So if you wanna stay in shape,
get a dog.
Get a dog. Get a dog that harasses you all the time if you're not taking them out or moving. That'll do it in an instant.
Yeah.
But we've always walked. So any opportunity we can, we walk. We don't travel with a golf cart. We don't have scooters. We don't have any of that stuff. We've been to resorts that are 2 miles in length. Everybody has a golf cart. Everybody has a scooter. Everybody has something. We walk.
We walk.
And then people drive around at 5 o'clock with their glass of wine. We walk with our glass of wine.
Yeah, we do. We're like, this really actually works a lot better.
But by the time we get around the whole resort, we've pretty much worn off the calories in the glass of wine.
Exactly. So you don't feel bad.
Yeah.
That's excellent.
So we make it a point not to take any of that stuff with us. We don't carry a bike. We don't carry anything. We just walk. Because usually if we had a bike, the resorts aren't big enough to bike anyway.
We'd be bored.
And yeah, after you go around the resort 5,000 times on a bike, you tend to get bored with that. But the other thing we do is we run.
Every other day we take a nice run.
We try and run at least every other day, no matter what, pending weather. And we have at times when our knees are sore or that we have sore muscles or something, and we may take an extra time off. But
or if our knees are feeling really good, we double up.
Yeah, that's how we get the majority of our cardio when we're on the road, because gyms are few and far between where we go. Sometimes when we're in Florida or in a big area, we'll go to the gym. Some of the nicer resorts will have a gym.
Really nice workout equipment.
You can go on the stair stepper. You can have weight equipment. You can do all that, which actually helps a lot. During those times, we'll run in the morning, and then we'll go to the gym every afternoon.
Then we'll have either our yoga or our weights that night, and maybe even toss in a little more cardio.
Yeah, and that helps a lot because then we can eat. Be a lot more free with our diet.
And we can join in the evening glass of wine around the RV resort.
That's another thing. We usually don't go to parties or gatherings because it just revolves around eating and drinking, and the food is usually not healthy at all.
And I'm allergic to a lot of stuff, so I'm kind of put off on the side. They're like, well, don't you have that? I'm like, well, I'm allergic, and it's too much.
Or if we do, we'll just go and we'll stop in and we'll talk, but it's always a case of everybody saying, hey, why don't you have some of this? Please have some of this. Please sit down. Please do this. And no,
here, eat these.
No, we'll stand. No, we're not gonna eat that. We're just gonna have a glass of wine or a martini or a mixed drink or something. And but it always is just a total assault everywhere we go. So we tend to just not do that. The other thing we don't do is we don't go out to eat.
No, we really don't.
Since diet is about 80% of your fitness. When you go out to eat, you don't know what's in the food. So, I know what's in the food. I know it's bad.
Butter.
Butter, fat,
of butter.
And calories,
Deliciousness.
And a lot of it. I mean, that food, when you go to a nice restaurant, tastes really good.
Oh, so amazing.
There's a reason for that.
Yeah. So we avoid that.
It's not because it's healthy. And then you, of course, you have to have a dessert, you have to have drinks, you have to have all this. So by the time you roll out of there, you've consumed about 5,000 calories when your daily allotment is more like 1,500 or 2,000. So it's bad. So we try and eliminate going out to eat as much as possible. That's one of the reasons why we are
RV.
in an RV
Yeah.
instead of hotels.
Yeah, we can cook our meals really lean.
Yep.
We can watch my allergy issues so I know what I can eat, and it really helps a lot. So we just don't keep it.
We barbecue almost every night.
Yeah. Or air fry.
Yeah,
That's our two things.
or the air fryer. We use the air fryer to cook. When it's raining out, we use the air fryer. When it's nice out, we use the barbecue. And we're grilling something pretty much every night. And it consists of protein, a carb, and vegetables. And then maybe fruits for dessert. Or we'll have some ice cream,
Every once in a while. Like if I look at them and say, hey, you want some ice cream? It's like, I don't feel like I'm like, I won't either. And then we kind of just get together, so it's not every time.
And we'll have a little cheese, some crackers, maybe a little wine with our meal, or a martini, or something. Or I'll have a beer every once in a while.
Then that'll be our carb for that day.
Usually we have set days for like drinking. Like we'll say, okay, Wednesday we'll have
a martini.
We can have martini with our meal, a couple martinis. And Saturday nights,
Saturday nights always.
We might sit down with some cheese and crackers and
just more of
wine
we don't have to go out to eat. We can eat our.
But if we drink alcohol, we usually cut our carbs on our meal. Like we'll have 2 vegetables and then a protein. But basically, we just count our calories.
Yeah.
It's calories in, calories burned.
Out. Yeah.
So, we're not too sticklers about what we should eat. Like you have to have this much protein, this many carbs, this many. That's too strict. We
can never stick to it.
No, we've been doing our same diet plan or our lifestyle plan for probably 15 years now, huh?
Oh, at least, yeah.
And
that's when we first got into the Beachbody, yeah.
We found out first, if you're very strict with your diet, like all these diet plans want you to be, it's really hard to stick to it. So you just have to create a plan that works for you.
That you can easily stick to and be happy with.
Yeah. And count your calories. Make sure that you're not doing an excessive amount of sugar, an excessive amount of fat. Just a good balance of everything. And that works for us.
It's been really nice.
I think I try and maintain about 2,000 calories a day. You maintain about 1,500, 1,200, 1,500.
About 12, yeah. 12 to 15.
Usually, like in the morning, I'll make like some scrambled eggs, some egg whites, maybe a piece of toast, maybe with some ham, some kind of protein, good protein. Maybe I'll cut up a potato every once in a while and make some fried potatoes or something.
And I'm more just basic protein and maybe like a grapefruit or something. I don't really have like an extra bread carb at all.
Yeah. And then, you have a protein and usually a piece of fruit. Of course, you're allergic to potatoes and you're allergic to other things, so that kind of limits what you can have.
It makes it easier.
And then, we drink a lot of water. We used to drink a lot of diet soda.
Yeah.
And while it didn't make us gain weight like they tell you it does, just all the chemicals started to have like an effect, like on your skin.
Yep, I'd get hives.
A rash or something. So you stopped drinking diet soda. So then I stopped, and we'll have one every once in a while. But
for the most part, it's water.
Regardless of what they say, it never made us gain weight. We drank diet soda for 20, 25 years.
Yeah. And actually, we did a whole real hardcore diet plan once where we did the 21 days, and we didn't eat any white rice. We didn't have any soda. We didn't do any. We did it like really super strict.
Just drank water.
Just water. And then the next 21 days, we added in like what we'd normally do.
Yeah, we did basically the same diet, but we added in a lot of diet soda like we normally would.
White rice instead of brown rice.
There was no difference
matter.
at all. No difference.
So that kind of told us that how we felt was right.
So we've done a lot of testing over the years, and we just found what works for us. And but like I said, diet's about 80% of your exercise. Exercise is 20%. So if you don't have a clean diet, it'll be a struggle to keep your weight down. It'll be a struggle.
And there's not enough hours in a day to really work out a bad diet.
No, and we don't keep chips in the house. We don't keep we may keep a little bit of ice cream, but we tend to have enough willpower to be able to do that. Before, we never used to.
No, now we have much better willpower.
Now we know where our diet has to be, but we just keep a lot of fruits, a lot of vegetables, a lot of easy things to snack on. Some almonds, some nuts, some things like that. Where you can just grab. When you eat almonds, I usually eat 12.
Yeah, because
That's my maximum.
fits kind of your palm of your hand, and it's just perfect.
That's like 100 calories, so I eat 12. It's got good protein. It's got good benefits. Now, if you sit down and you eat a whole handful of almonds, well, that's like 1,000 calories or 2,000 calories. You could eat those before you even do it. Peanuts the same way. Peanuts, you can sit down with a bag of peanuts and start cracking them, and before you know it, you've consumed 3,000 calories of peanuts, and you don't even know what happened.
And you're still not full. So
that's why we don't do that. Chips are the same way. Chips, you can sit down with a bag of chips. Before you know it, you're halfway through the bag. Well, you've just consumed 2,000 calories. So we don't. If we want that stuff, we make it a point to have to drive to get it.
And no one ever wants to say, I want to leave and fight traffic anywhere and go get my bag of chips. Nah.
Especially in Florida. So, especially at 9 o'clock. You're sitting there at 9 o'clock, you're like, God, I'm hungry. I wish I had a bag of chips. Well, we look at each other like, who's going to go to the store to get it?
I'm not.
Fine, we'll just sit here
and be unhappy.
Well,
I'll make some popcorn. I have air popcorn, but I do put a little butter on it.
Yeah.
And that
we never used to. We used to have pretty clean popcorn with just some salt. We do eat a lot of salt. We found
because we sweat a lot of salt.
We found that we work out a lot. We sweat a lot. So if we don't eat enough salt, our feet start to swell, and bad things start happening. Yeah. So we make sure that we do have a pretty good salt intake. So that's pretty much our diet. As far as our workout routine, like I said, we walk whenever we can. When we go to the store, we park the furthest away that we possibly can. Yeah. I mean, if there's a spot all the way across the parking lot, you'll find our car there.
Yeah.
That has two advantages.
No door dings.
No door dings. Well, very few. There'll always be some jerk who comes and decides to park right next to us.
Hey, that was a really good idea.
And give us a door ding. Every time. I mean, we park the furthest way anywhere that we possibly could go, but we still get door dings. But we do walk, and then we walk. Let's say we go to the grocery store, we park the furthest way. So we have to walk into this store, then we have to walk the cart back, then we have to walk the cart back to put it back, then we have to walk back to the car. So you end up walking 4 times, which is good.
That's just.
And so any opportunity to walk, we're doing it.
Yeah.
If there's
stairs.
If there's stairs, we'll take stairs. Like we go to a hotel, and we'll climb 10 stories on the stairs every time.
Up and down, taking the dog in and out is awesome.
We don't take the elevator unless we absolutely have to. Not only do we like the exercise, but I don't like getting into a crowded elevator with a bunch of strangers anyway, so I prefer to take the stairs. Yeah. So that's one aspect, and then we do yoga.
Yep, I finally got him to do yoga.
After many years,
oh my gosh, I'd ask him to do yoga with him, he's like, no.
I wasn't going to do the girly yoga. I wasn't going to be a girly yoga man. And finally, I'm like, you know what? She'd do it every day, and finally she's like, you should really do this. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to show you how stupid this is. So I got done and did it, and the next day I was so sore, and I was like, you know what? I think this was something. And my back felt better, and I was more flexible. After a month of doing it, I felt so good that
you could get out of bed much better.
Yeah, I've been doing yoga for 10 years, probably. And then I started Pilates and some other workout that had all the girl instructors on there, of course. So at least I got something to watch when I'm doing all this stuff. But so I started in all that, and my core strength improved.
Your balance.
My whole just balance. Yep, everything. So
don't skip my yoga.
So then we started doing some beach body workouts, the ones you see advertised on TV where everybody's ripped and if you stick to the plan, it does work.
It does work really well.
We've been doing beach body for 15 years, and it has transformed us a lot.
Yeah, because a lot of their workouts now are 30 minutes, so it's like, it's 30 minutes, I can get that done at any time. It's not...
I think the ones we started were an
hour. Hour and a half was the longest one. I think they had an hour and a half yoga. And we begrudgingly did that every once in a while, but it's just so long. But the half-hour yoga I love.
Yeah, we used to run in the mornings. Every morning we used to run. Yeah. And then in the evenings we'd do P90 for an hour.
It was either weightlifting, upper body, lower body, yoga, Pilates.
When we had a house and a workout room, and we could tailor it to that. Yeah. So now we do some of the beach body yoga the Pilates, some of the like leg routines, and then we bring our hand weights with us. So we've got hand weights anywhere from 5 pounds up to 35. And
got our yoga mats here, which actually we can both fit in this area to do yoga pretty well.
Yeah.
You're a little tall.
Yeah, we do our yoga right in the RV. So unless we have room outside.
Yeah.
If we're to a nice resort where there's plenty of room outside, then we'll go out there and do that. And I'll keep my weights outside too if I'm somewhere for a couple weeks. I'll just put all my weights outside, stack them up, and then everybody will come up to me and say, "Hey, I see you've got weights out there. What kind of weight program do you use?" And then of course I explain them, and they say, "Well, geez, we want to get in shape. We want to look like you guys. What do we have to do?" I said, "Well, the first thing you do is let me come over to your RV and let me go through your cupboards and pull everything out that you shouldn't be eating, because that's 80% of your problem." And then they look at me and they say, "Well, maybe we don't want to do that after all."
More often than not, that is that. Or a husband will come over and his wife's looking over there. Yeah, he's not gonna give up his ice cream every night.
Yeah. And so that's usually the routine. Nobody has taken us up on that offer yet. So we're still waiting for the day when we can go over to somebody's RV and clean out their whole kitchen. But so we take our hand weights along with us. We lift weights, whenever we get an opportunity.
Yep. Especially in the RV if it rains out. Okay, we can't run today. Okay, let's do some yoga and then lift weights. We try and use our...
And the strength benefits are great, especially for you.
Yeah.
A few years ago, before you really started lifting weights, you couldn't lift hardly anything. I mean, you were like a typical girl who just I
had no endurance. I could lift something for a little bit, but I had no endurance to travel with it. Now I have a lot more.
Now you can walk up and pretty much lift anything.
Oh, yeah?
I remember one time we were at our house, and we had just cleaned up the landscaping, and we put it in big black garbage bags, and we put it out by the curb, and we had 4 of them, and the garbage man came, and he goes to lift it, and he goes, "Yeah, these are too heavy. We can't accept these. You're going to have to split these up." And so we go out there, and she goes out, and she goes, "Well, why can't you accept them?" He goes, "They're too heavy. I can't lift them." She goes, "Oh, well, let me help you." So she grabs the bags and she throws them up into the garbage truck. And the guy looked at her with his jaw dropped. And then she says, "There you go." And then she just walked away. So that's one advantage of lifting weights, and for me too. I mean, I'm 52, so I've maintained my strength.
I think you're even stronger now. You have more of the endurance strength.
I'm stronger than I think I ever have.
Yeah,
but,
especially core.
And that's simply, it doesn't take a lot of weight. It just takes being dedicated to it.
Yeah, and following along with the program to start with, to know the right muscles to use and the right technique to not get hurt.
Form, yeah. And the videos will help you out. If you have we started with a mirror in our house, a mirror on the wall, and we got a mirror in the RV we could use too. But if you watch yourself, you can see your form, you can see what you have to correct. And but if I could, I'd travel with 50-pound weights, but the 50-pound weights are too much for the RV. They're too hard to move in and out. We tried to carry them in the Jeep, but it caused a wobbling problem because we had so much weight in the Jeep. That's why we were getting the death wobble in our Jeep when we were turning corners. Once I took the weights out of the Jeep, problem disappeared.
Yeah.
So now I said, okay, I'll max out 35-pounders. We actually place them around the RV. We place them to hold the refrigerator closed when we're driving, or the freezer closed. Yeah. We block things in the back closet so they don't move around.
Put a few on the bed after it's pulled all the way in. I wouldn't move anything with the weights on it.
Yeah. So and it gives us an extra chance to move the weights around. And
it's like bonus workout.
Yeah. So that's kind of the main thing we do for weightlifting and for strength training. Push-ups. I do a lot of push-ups.
When we have a pull-up bar, like when we have a winter place before, we'd purchase the pull-up bar and just use that.
Well, when COVID struck, we were stuck in the RV for 4 or 5 months. So what we did is we set up an exercise area outside the RV. We had to stay in one place. So fortunately, we were in a pretty nice resort. We had a big pad, and we set up all our weights outside. We had all of our yoga stuff outside. I bought a pull-up bar, so I had my pull-up bar outside, and we pretty much had everything. And the pull-up bar, I think, was $150. It rusted after 5 months, so I just threw it away. And then we just set up our own gym because all the gyms were closed. and we were in the best shape of our lives probably at that time.
Oh yeah.
Because all we did was
work out.
Was work out and do our daily stuff and just work out all the time. We never went out. We never did anything.
We didn't have. I mean, and that was the time where we find our chocolate covered cherries, which were delicious. But that was the only snack the only really bad food we had, because we didn't even buy ice cream during that.
Well, because we couldn't get out.
We couldn't
had
get
to
out.
have everything delivered.
Yeah.
Because we didn't leave the RV for 4 months.
No.
We did not leave. We had everything delivered, and of course, you know, getting things delivered by people, it's good in essence, but they don't pick out the freshest vegetables. They don't pick out the best meats. They pretty much go in there and they just grab whatever they
quick and
can
easy.
find. So you come up with rotten vegetables and all this
really
other
fatty
stuff.
meats where we're cutting them off.
So we try and eat lean meats. We sirloin steaks. We'll have some New York strips, but we'll find the lean ones and we'll cut any amount of fat off of them. A little bit of chicken, a little bit of pork, everything lean, and everything grilled. But so that's basically, you know, our diet and our exercise routine. For someone who was starting,
oh yeah,
you know, our advice would be
get a yoga mat, walk
whenever you can, and get rid of junk food.
Yeah, the first thing is getting rid of junk food, and then walk, and then keep adding on a little bit more, so you're not super hungry.
And the good thing is if you have a dog, the dogs tend not to beg for the healthy stuff as much as they do the junk food. But Saki's a little different. He doesn't care. He'll take anything.
He loves vegetables. He had broccoli the other night.
Our last dog would not eat anything except junk food or meat, and so the minute you had something healthy, he wouldn't even go near you.
No, it's like, forget that.
Most people are the same way. When we start eating healthy foods, most people.
Oh my God, we're not coming over for dinner to you guys.
So that's our routine. For everybody out there who wanted to know, that's what you have to do. It's hard at first. The first month is difficult. The first month is really difficult with the diet.
Yeah.
And just getting into an exercise routine. But the diet is way harder than the exercise.
But I will say, after really kind of staying healthy like that, that pizza or that ice cream or that drink are so delicious. Yeah. You really appreciate
when you
that.
limit your really bad food to like once a week or once every couple weeks, everything tastes so much better.
Good.
Yeah, it does. It tastes so much better. But after a month, what you find is you have a huge increase in energy, in just your whole outlook.
It feels good.
You just feel a lot better every day. When we get into sometimes when we'll have to eat junk food. Let's say we'll be on the road and we'll just have a lot of things going on, or we'll have to stay in a hotel because the RV is broke down. We'll have to eat out for a week or 2 weeks, and by the end of that time, we're just done. We have no energy. We're just depressed.
Well.
We don't sleep well. We don't. I mean, it's just like even though we try and walk as much as we can,
still not the same.
The diet just overpowers everything. So, but that's just how we do it. And if anybody wants to know more, they can comment in the comment section, and we'll try and reply as we get time.